All right, so I'm going to give you an orientation of the Simio environment. When you open it up for the first time, you're going to see something like this. It's a blank facility view, and there's a lot of different tabs to navigate through. Uh, there's a lot to get into, but I'm just going to give you a brief overview right now. The first thing that I'll draw your attention to is the upper ribbon. So this ribbon is designed like the Microsoft Office ribbon, so it should feel familiar to those of you that have used Word or Excel or something like it. The point is that there are different tabs in the ribbon that have functionality grouped under certain categories. So things that are according to the visibility of your different objects will be under the visibility tab. The first tab that we'll look into is the file. So this should be familiar to you. You can save or open uh, Simio projects. You can create new ones. You can also adjust some settings. So let's click back. Okay. And the project home tab is going to have a bunch of settings for your Simio project here, the one that we're working in. There are lots of different facility tools that I'm going to get into in a later video, but the last one that we'll look at is the support tab. So there's a lot of helpful resources here. Uh, the first one that I'll draw your attention to is the help. So this is a searchable help on all aspects of Simio. Essentially what this is this is the reference guide. This is the documentation on all things Simio. So for example, if I go into Simio concepts, it talks about what is an object in Simio. What are the things that Simio recognizes as properties of these objects? And you can go into lots of detail in learning about object hierarchy and types and all the processes and these different things that we'll get into in later videos. But this is very helpful. There's a search function here. So let's say I wanted to learn about materials. I knew that was a keyword. There's an article that comes up on materials. You can see that there's an explanation here about what a material element is within Simio. So I'd encourage you to dig into this, and it's especially helpful if you know the keyword that you're searching for to be able to find it within the correct article. Okay, close out of that. The next thing that I'll draw your attention to is the expression reference guide. So I click expression reference guide, and I have a document that tells me all of the keywords and the different syntax that I can use within Simio expressions. An expression is essentially like a mathematical function. So for example, if I wanted to use like a random distribution, the keyword random. So if I were to type random dot continuous, for example, if I want to use a continuous distribution, I could put in probability and value pairs to be able to create a continuous distribution. Something that might be more useful, something like an exponential distribution, right? So if I were to type random.exponential, I would put the mean here as the parameter for my distribution. So this is super helpful if you are looking for, well, how do I program a certain distribution into Simio? Uh, it's all contained within here. But there are many other things to reference within Simio for expressions. So things like in the objects, if I was talking about a server, I could look at the server's input buffer or the queue that is entering into the server block. Some of this might not make sense to you right now, but I'll let you know that this document is extremely useful for finding what you need to find within Simio. Okay. So let's get back to Simio. The last thing that we'll look at is the sample Simbit solutions. So these are small examples with accompanying documentation that illustrate how to do common tasks. So I click on this, sometimes it'll load the Simbit solutions here, and I'll search for a term. The term that I want to search for is, I don't know how to do bulking in Simio. So I type in the word bulking. Hey, a server queue with bulking and reneging. Let's click on that, and it's going to open up a new instance of Simio. The benefits of using something like the Simbits are that you can get a template of how to use certain logic within Simio to get functionality, and then you can adapt it to your own use case. So once this loads up, I'll show you kind of what they give us. Right. So I'll have a Simio model loading here. Then we're also going to have Simio documentation. Okay. There's my model. Oh, here's the PDF. All right. So this PDF is the step-by-step instructions by how to build the other model. So let's go here. Let's build this queue. Let's get these stacked up correctly. Okay. So I have this document here, and this is how to build this model specifically, right? So it says, hey, here's all the assumptions that we're making about this system. Here's how you build a model. Add a source and a server and a sink. These things will make more sense to you in the future, but it steps you through the entire process for building a model that is able to look at balking and reneging behaviors. So I hope that was helpful for y'all. Best of luck with your modeling in Simio.